So we've talked about how dogs learn. Now let's just take a moment to talk about how dogs think. So dogs are primarily ruled by their emotions. Okay, we are obviously also influenced by our emotions, but we have a large rational or logic part of our brain that likes to overrule those emotions. Dogs don't have a large rational or logical part of their brain. They are ruled by their emotions predominantly. And their emotions can change from moment to moment, depending on what's happening on their environment. So dogs generally do want to be calm and relaxed, but some dogs never ever have the opportunity to be those two things. Just because your dog is sleeping doesn't mean it's relaxed. There's a difference. So if we start to understand our dog's emotion, we can start to understand the dog itself. And since we can't sit down with them and ask them how they're feeling, we have to figure out another way to figure out what they're feeling at a particular point in time. What we need to do is start to be able to read a dog's body language to help us understand how they're feeling. A lot of dog owners miss out on the opportunity to actually understand what a dog's saying through its body language, and it is the primary way that they communicate with one another. So it is essential for us as trainers of people to train their dog to help you understand what you're looking at when your dog is holding its body in a certain way. It's important to understand that body language isn't a deliberate attempt to get another dog to understand what it's feeling. It is an involuntary reaction. It is the way your dog is feeling at that present moment. So it's vital information for us to be able to take away from a situation. So if your dog is wagging its tail, yes, that might mean that it's quite happy. Tail wagging can also happen out of frustration. So we have to be able to piece together the rest of the dog's body language to try and understand if my dog is wagging its tail because it's happy or if it's wagging its tail because it's stressed. Panting, another prime example. A dog can pant when it's relaxed. It's going to be generally with the tongue still in its mouth softly open. And then if it is panting because it's stressed, then we're going to see an exaggeration of that. So the tongue is going to be probably out of its mouth. That panting is going to be quite heavy, and you'll be able to read other parts of the body to understand what the dog is thinking or feeling at the time. So it's like a dog, as we say, is a conductor of energy. It's an emotional energy. If we're going to be scientifically accurate about it, it's actually adrenaline, okay, and a few other chemicals that are released from the brain, like adrenaline, that the dog is reacting to. And we'll call it emotional energy just for the simplicity of it. So a dog with a low voltage of energy is calm and relaxed. Okay, but you increase that energy even slightly by changing something in the dog's environment, and their body language will start to change. Okay, if you've ever seen the movie Up, okay, you see the dogs reacting to a squirrel. So it's the same kind of thing. Their focus changes, their body changes. They're focused on something else. So they've gone from being calm and relaxed to being alert on some level. It's this adrenaline or emotional energy that they experience, which is why they act what we think is irrational. So, when a dog is chewing on a marrow bone, for example, they've got this huge big bone they're having a bit of a chomp on, and a cat comes past, well, we might know that the cat has no intention at all of stealing the bone from the dog. It's too big for the cat, it's not the kind of thing that they're interested in, so we can logically see that the cat's not a threat to the dog. The dog, however, doesn't have that thought process. What will happen is he sees the cat, he's going to feel an emotional reaction because the cat is in proximity to the bone, depending on the dog, depends on the size of the proximity, and then it's going to have an emotional reaction from the adrenaline or energy that it's building up. So as the cat continues to move, the dog's going to have a reaction, and then the dog has to find a way to get rid of this adrenaline buildup. Okay, so we do the same thing. If we get frustrated or angry, we've got to get rid of that frustration somehow. So the dog's going to do that too, and generally dogs are going to do it in a way that people find inappropriate. So they might growl, they might bark, or they might snap, um, depending on the dog. And depending on the situation that's around it. So if you just start to think of these sort of irrational behaviours as a response to an emotional situation, you're probably going to have an easier time to start to understand why your dog's doing what it's doing.